Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone and welcome to Divine Allegiance. I'm your host, Maulana Baig. Thank you for joining us. Today's topic, HAQ UN-NAS, or the rights of people. HAQ UN-NAS is a very important subject for Allah and it should be a huge concern for us. HAQ UN-NAS is defined as the right that belongs to people. That is not the right of Allah, but the right of the people. It could be property or any other right that they have that must be observed by all other Muslims. So in this regard, we will see that it is highly emphasized in Islam. Islam has warned us in so many ways to be careful about the rights that belong to other people. And so today, we are going to explore a little bit about this topic so that it could be a reminder for us and some things that might be new for you so that you can truly learn and practice this in your life. So, there are certain rights that Allah has on us. Allah has the right for obedience. We should obey Allah. Allah has the right to be prayed upon. So we should only pray towards Allah. Allah has the right that we should only make dua to Him. In other words, the only one who answers our dua is Allah. And that is a right that Allah has, that we should believe in that. So these are rights that Allah has. But certain rights that people also have, whether it is our family or our friends or just people in general, public. And these rights fall under three categories that I will mention later on in the show. But first of all, let's see what the Quran has to say about HAQ UN-NAS. HAQ UN-NAS, or the rights of people. This ayat in Surah Nisa, ayat number 29. Allah says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la ta'kulu amwalakum bainakum bil batil. He says, O you who believe, do not eat and usurp and devour the property of others. Do not devour the property of others with falsehood, illegally, unlawfully, meaning that do not take the property of other people illegally. Number one. So here we go in Surah Nisa, ayat number 2. Allah says, وَلَا تَأْكُلُوا أَمْوَالَهُمْ إِلَىٰ أَمْوَالِكُمْ. He says, do not mix other people's wealth with your wealth. Do not mix other people's property with your property. Mixing this is wrong, it's illegal, it's unlawful. So my friends, ayat of the Quran, and there are many other ayat, I will just suffice with these two to explain to us that rights of others or the property of others is honorable in Islam. It should be respected and it should be taken care of, and this right of protecting the property of others must be observed. So, one cannot use the property of others without their permission. If you are not allowed to use it, you just can't use it just because you have it. If you give me something to hold and say that, listen, this is a trust from me, please hold it until I come back. And if I see that my rent is due and this money is here with me, I can't use it. Even though it's here with me in my hand, but it's not mine. It's as if it doesn't exist here. So I can't even look at it for being used. This belongs to someone else, so you can't use it. Even you cannot use the property of one company for another company. For example, you go into one bank, you take something from this bank and put it in the other bank. You can't do that. Even in masjids, it's the same thing. If you go to one masjid and let's say accidentally you walked off with the turbats, the mohar for prayer, and then you see, oh, you know what, I got this mohar by mistake in my pocket, so let me just drop it off at this other masjid. You can't do that. You have to take it back to the original masjid. Nothing from one place can go to another because it belongs to that place. And you just can't take one place and something from one thing that belongs to one thing and take it to another. This is illegal, unlawful. Allah is warning us about it. Do not mix up the wealth of people. What belongs to someone belongs to him, not others. And hence, this is sort of a warning and a legal law that Allah is laying out in the Quran. Now let me just go to Hadith and point out 6 important points regarding the rights of people. HAQ UN-NAS. Number 1, according to Hadith, HAQ UN-NAS, meaning the rights of people, is more important than the rights of Allah. Yes, Allah regards that the rights of people should be observed more important and be given more importance to than the right of Allah himself. We have in the hadith from Imam Ali, he says, جَعَلَ اللَّهُ سُبْحَانَهُ حُقُوقَ عِبَادِهِ مُقَدَّمَةً لِحُقُوقِهِ. He says Allah gives more priority to the rights of people than his own rights. So one is the emphasis that when it comes to the property of other people, we have to observe those things more careful than what we have to do and observe the rights of Allah. Number 2, second point we find in hadith is that HAQ UN-NAS is a requirement for Hajj and Ziyarat. When you want to go for Hajj, it is incumbent that you take care of HAQ UN-NAS, the rights of people that has become a burden on you. For example, loans from other people, debts. You have to take care of it before you can go for Hajj. And you have to either pay it back or rectify it, or ask the person that you owe money to for permission to go. Without that, you cannot go. In fact, it has come in hadith where Allah says to the angels that when a person comes to Hajj and to his house for ziyarat or umrah, when he comes, Allah tells the angels, do not accept this person because this person has the rights of other people and the burden of debts to other people. He is wasting his time being here. So for us to spend time to go there is a waste of time until we rectify our debts and our obligations that we have for others. And the third point in hadith, it is said that it is the greatest crime. Yes, HAQ UN-NAS and taking and not observing the property of others is the greatest crime. Imam Ali alayhi salam says this, أعظم الخطايا اقتطاع مال امرئ مسلم بغير حق. He says the greatest crime is to take a Muslim's property unlawfully, without legal rights. When you take the property of others, then it is the greatest crime. Number 4, it is unforgivable. It is unforgivable, meaning that this sin, it is a sin, and this crime, and it is a crime of taking the rights of others, trampling the rights of others, taking their property without legal right, is a crime and it is unforgivable. Imam Ali says about this oppression, he says, أَمَّا الظُّلْمَ الَّذِي لَا يُغْفَرْ فَظَلَمُوا عِبَادْ بَعْضُهُمْ بَعْضًا. He says that regarding the unpardonable offense, the offense that is unforgivable, is the offense of some people against other people, meaning the rights that some people or the property that some people take from others illegally and unlawfully. This is something that is unforgivable. Take that. Number 5, in hadith, points from hadith regarding HAQ UN-NAS and the rights of people. The 5th thing is that it is a detachment from wilayat, from Ahlul Bayt. Anyone who has HAQ UN-NAS or who takes the property of other people illegally, or usurp the property of other people, or hurt other people, or do whatever it is that take the rights of other people, they detach themselves from Ahlul Bayt. Imam Sadiq al-Islam says this, "Laysa biwaliyin li man akala mala mu'minin haraman." He says, whoever steals the property of believers is not my followers. Someone who takes the money and property of believers in a haram way, he is not my follower. They are not the followers of Ahlul Bayt. No matter how much they say that they are Shia and followers, they are not followers of Ahlul Bayt. Ahlul Bayt detach themselves. So please, we need to look at these points and really be careful, because when we see that a little crime like this and one mistake like this can make all the good work that we are doing going down the drain, this is bad. This is a bad deal. And hence, that's why HAQ UN-NAS should be and must be observed by all. Number 6, even the martyrs, the shaheed, those who die in Allah's way, are not spared by this rule. Yes, even if a shaheed who dies in Allah's way, even he is not spared. Imam Baqir says, "Awwalu qatratin min ash-shaheed kafaratun li dhunubihi." The first drop of a martyr's blood atones for all his sins. When the first drop of blood falls from a shaheed, from a martyr, it atones for all his sins, illa dain, except for debts. Except for debts that he owed other people. He says that can only be atoned by repayment. That cannot be forgiven. You have to repay that. You have to repay that. This is so important, folks. This is so important that on the day of Ashura, when Imam Hussein made the lines for battle and he put his people in place for the battle to start, just as the battle was about to start, Imam Hussein asked the people, his people who are standing ready to die for Allah's sake, as they are standing in the battlefield, Imam Hussein asked them a very random question. He says, "Is there anyone amongst you who has any debts that they have to pay off? Anyone here who owes any money to anyone?" And one of them said, "Yes, Maulaya, my master, I have a debt that I have to pay." Imam Hussein asked him, "How much is it?" He told him how much. Imam Hussein said, "Go and take care of it. Go and take care of it before you fight. Because I don't want anyone here to die with me as a shaheed and you owe anyone else." Why? Because that cannot be forgiven. Everything else will be forgiven. Heaven and everything else is there. But that cannot be forgiven. You have to pay it back. Even martyrs are not spared from this rule. So imagine the gravity of this issue in this matter. Now let's go forward and see what are these rights. There are 3 types of rights that must be observed by all Muslims. There are 3 types, 3 categories. So the first category is personal rights. Second is property rights. And the third is rights of honor and dignity. 3 types of rights, 3 categories. So the personal rights are divided into 2, my friends. Personal rights. Number 1. Personal rights divided into 2. Number 1 is physical. It is physical. And that is, for example, like a murder. If you kill someone, then now that person has to forgive you and his family has to forgive you until you're forgiven. Whenever you commit a sin of HAQ UN-NAS, then you become the hostage of that person. You are under his mercy. Yes, you're under that person's mercy now. You're at his mercy. Finished. Everything has been told to us by Islam. Imam Ali says this, that Allah has said, I swear by my honor and my majesty, I will not let go of any wrongdoing of any aggressor, even if it is just a slap in the wrist. I will not let go of that. It won't be ignored. It won't be looked over. We are going to look into it and question it. Whatever you have done is going to be looked into. And HAQ UN-NAS is so much more important right now. We need to face that. So the first is personal, and number one in that is physical, which is murder. Murder, assault, striking others, slapping others. All of these things, when you do that, now you're at his mercy to forgive you. If he doesn't forgive you, it doesn't matter. You haven't insulted him. You have just made yourself hostage to him. The mental. Second type is mental. For example, insulting others, shaming others. When you insult others, you haven't insulted him. You made yourself a hostage to him. Mental abuse. When you abuse other people mentally and hurt them like that. If you ridicule other people, this ridicule, what you're doing is that making yourself hostage to his mercy. And I'll explain a little bit. So that is personal rights that have to be observed and protected. Second type of right are property rights. Property rights is like stealing, cheating, scamming, usurping, cutting lines, even that. Like you cannot cut lines also, because that is a property of people. That's their turn. And when you cut the line, you're taking the turn of another person. It is wrong for you to do that. This falls under the category of HAQ UN-NAS. Bribery is the same thing. When you bribe someone to get your work done, what happens? You're taking the right of other people who are in line. Just because you have money, you paid that person in order to go ahead of others. You trample the rights of other people. Now you're at their mercy. If you give rishwat and bribe, now you have to go and ask everyone that you cut in front of for their forgiveness. Good luck finding them. 3 is the rights of dignity and honor. And that is, for example, backbiting. Backbiting, slandering, looking at women with wrong intentions. For example, someone's mother, someone's sister, someone's daughter, someone's wife. When you look at them with wrong intention, this falls under HAQ UN-NAS. And you are responsible now for that. Hijab falls under this category of HAQ UN-NAS. Hijab that is maintained, a dress code that is maintained in a Muslim society, is a dress code meant to give respect to the society, to the people in general, public in general. If you do not observe it, then you dishonor the society, dishonor the people. It's like, for example, you go to a restaurant dressed up with your family, and then you see someone walking in with shorts and a t-shirt and dirty. You look at that and say, this is a restaurant, there's a standard here to maintain. And you dishonor and you insult us who have come like this into this establishment. Really, a person who goes without hijab is like that in a Muslim society. She dishonors the people. Spreading rumors. Spreading the rumors about other people is wrong, even if they're true. If they're true, it's called ghibat. Spreading rumors that are true is called ghibat. Spreading rumors that are false is called slander. And both of them are haram. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam has said this. He says, Man kasara mu'minan fa alayhi jabruhu. Whoever breaks, hurts a believer, so he has to repair it. The person who's hurting him has to repair it. That's it. You have to do and undo what you have done. And this is hard. So now let me go to the cure. I'm going to go through 5 cures so that you can repair this HAQ UN-NAS. 5 things, and it will help you do that. Number 1, my friends, the best cure is prevention. In terms of HAQ UN-NAS, the best cure is prevention. Prevention is the best cure. Be careful. Be careful of not hurting or doing wrong to other people. Just be careful. Don't do it. Why? Just keep in mind that if I do it, I'm going to become a hostage of that person. I'll be at his mercy. Let me tell you a story. A story that didn't happen yet. It's going to happen in the future. A story is strange. It's a story about the future. Sci-fi. Futuristic. A person is going to be given the judgment of heaven. And he will be obviously exhilarated. I am going to heaven. And he will be taken to heaven. And as they approach the gate of heaven, right at the gate, the officer who lets people in, the angel, is going to stop him and say, wait a minute, you can't go in. He said, why not? I got a judgment of heaven. Here it is, my decree of heaven right here. He says, yes, you do have a decree of heaven and you should belong to heaven, but you owe something to this Jewish person. I have a citation against you that you owe something to this Jewish person. And it's meant a Jew. This is from Hadith. So this person, he says, but that was a long time ago. Yeah, still it has to be taken care of. And so that person who's going to heaven will be put in a prison. Yes, there is a prison at the gate of heaven. A prison where all the people who owe HAQ UN-NAS are kept. And until what they owe is not paid off, they are going to stay there. And until the person that they owe to does not forgive them, they are going to stay there in that prison, in that lockup, at the gate where they can smell the fragrance of heaven, but still can't go in there because they're in that prison there, waiting for that person to forgive them. My friends, that's why Allah has said, listen, it's better for you to get a loan from a good believer. You know why? Because a believer forgives easily. He doesn't hold anything against you. Whenever you want to get any help, approach someone who you know is going to forgive you easier. You know that he has a character and who seeks that from Allah, and he will forgive you easier. It's better for you to owe someone like that. He is going to let go of you and he will say that yes, it's okay. But if you are indebted to someone who is stingy and miserly, then you are in big trouble. We are in big trouble. That's the number 1 thing. Number 2, if you are indebted or if you have done wrong to others, the second cure is pay up. Yes, pay it off. Do what you can to pay it off right now in this world while you're here. And if you have done something to someone that you cannot find anymore, or he is dead, he is gone, then give sadaqah of the amount that you owe in his name. Charity in his name. Give that so that it could be taken care of, my friends. Do not let yourself be in a situation where you are going to be owing other people on the day of judgment. Be careful of that. Number 3, this third cure is knowing the incentives. You know, the incentive of taking and observing the rights of believers and rights of other people. Really, Imam Ali said, "Ma ubidallah bi shay'in afdala min ada'i haqqil mu'min." He says there is no worship that is greater than returning the rights of believers. If you owe someone something, a believer something, returning him is the greatest prayer you have ever made, is the greatest Hajj you have ever made. And you should take this as an incentive to do that. This helps us take care of things better, knowing that this is the greatest thing I'll ever do. Maybe this will be the means of my salvation. Number 4, fourth cure for HAQ UN-NAS, or if you have HAQ UN-NAS, or to observe HAQ UN-NAS, is knowledge. Know your rights. Know the rights of others. Having knowledge about the rights of others will help you to maintain and observe it. If you don't have knowledge, then there's many things that we do things without knowing and hurt ourselves. Imam Ali alayhi salam has said this. He says, وَقُودُ النَّارِ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ كُلَّ بَخِيلٍ بِمَأْلِهِ عَلَى الْفُقَرَاءِ وَكُلَّ عَالِمٍ بَعَ الدِّينِ بِالدُّنْيَا. He says, 2 people are going to be in the hellfire on the day of judgment. 2 types of people. And one of them is the miser, the stingy person who does not give the right of the poor from his wealth. Have you ever wondered why you are rich, why you are wealthy, why you have excess? Doesn't Allah know that you only need this much? If He gives you more than that, then it's more than your needs. Why does He want you to have extra? To keep it in your bank account so you can feel good about it? No, my friends, if Allah has given you more than what you need, it is because that is an amanat, a trust from Allah that belongs to the poor people. That belongs to the people. And any person who is wealthy, who doesn't recognize the rights of people who are needy in his own money, then he is usurping and stealing from the poor. He is stealing from them. Allah has given them extra because that is an amanat He gave to them. He says, I have given them that extra in order that the right of the poor are in them and that they should give to the poor. That they should give that right to the poor. This is why it is important that we know the rights. So the first person that is going to be in the hellfire is that miser who is going to not observe the right of the poor, and the alim who charges money for his speeches. 2 people in hellfire on the day of judgment. Now, number 5, the 5th cure for this disease is remembering the golden principle and making it a part of your life. What golden principle? It is the golden principle that Imam Sadiq alayhi salam has said. He says that the easiest and most basic principle for you to know regarding HAQ UN-NAS is like for yourself what you like for others, like for others what you like for yourself, and dislike for others what you dislike for yourself. This golden rule should be something that we should teach ourselves and our children and everyone around us. Make it a part of your life, that I want for others what I want for myself, and I don't want for others what I don't for myself. And if you have this as a principle, then anytime you want to do something to someone, joke about him, ridicule about him, do ghibat about him, ask yourself first, do I like this to be done to me? If I don't, let me not do it for others. Let me not do it to him. This, my friend, is going to help you and make it better for you. So HAQ UN-NAS, really, HAQ UN-NAS is something that Allah does not forgive. Allah might forgive things that you have done against Him because Allah is generous. Allah is merciful, and He might forgive the wrongs and the transgressions you have made against Allah. But when you have made transgressions against people, Allah does not and cannot forgive that. Allah will say, until that person doesn't forgive you, I cannot forgive you. I cannot let go of you. That person has to let go of you. So my friends, be a hostage to Allah. Don't be a hostage to others. Observe the rights of people. Make sure that we do not end up becoming hostage to their mercy. Because, Allah's mercy is greater. And He is forgiving. And in this month of Ramadan, let's make that resolution. If we do have it, try to undo them, undo all the things that you have maybe done in the past. There's a sadaqah called Radd Mazalim. Radd Mazalim is a sadaqah that if you have done something to someone by mistake or that you don't know, then you give a sadaqah called Radd Mazalim. That Allah, I'm giving this sadaqah as a Radd Mazalim for things I might have done to others, hurt others without knowing it. So this is a sadaqah for that. Do that sadaqah in the month of Ramadan also. May Allah bless you all. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching Divine Allegiance. We hope you like the show. If you like the show, please go on and hit the like button below and subscribe to our channel and share with your family and friends to spread the message. I'm your host Maulana Baig. Until next time, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.